The film opens with narrated backstory about the Formic Wars, where Earth was nearly destroyed by an alien species known as the Formics. Humanity was saved by the legendary hero Mazer Rackham. Ender Wiggin, the protagonist, is observed by military officials during his time at school. His strategic abilities and decision-making are put to the test during a monitored physical altercation with a bully. After the skirmish at school, Colonel Hiram Graff and Major Gwen Anderson discuss Ender's potential at the military's monitoring station. They decide to recruit him for battle school. Scenes at the Wiggin household provide insight into Ender's complex relationship with his family. His brother Peter exhibits aggression and envy, while his sister Valentine shows understanding and compassion. Graff visits Ender's home to offer him a place in battle school, a space station where the most promising children are trained to become commanders in the ongoing war against the Formics. Ender grapples with the decision to leave his family and join battle school. After a poignant conversation with Valentine, he decides to accept the offer. Ender says goodbye to his family and leaves Earth aboard a spacecraft. He's faced with the loneliness and fear of what lies ahead. Ender arrives at the battle school and gets his first view of Earth from space. He is filled with awe but also the heavy responsibility of his new role. Ender and other new recruits are oriented to the rules and objectives of the battle school by Colonel Graff. Ender experiences the zero-gravity environment for the first time, a significant challenge and a metaphor for the completely new perspective he must adopt. Ender meets his fellow recruits, known as launchies, who come from various backgrounds. Their responses to Ender range from curiosity to hostility. Colonel Graff starts Ender's isolation from his peers intentionally, aiming to speed up his development into a leader by placing him under social pressures and making him rely on his own wits. Ender begins his physical and mental training. He quickly learns to navigate the zero-gravity environment and shows skill in the battle room exercises. Ender faces bullying from other students, particularly an older boy named Bernard. Coupling restraint with decisive action, Ender overcomes Bernard, which starts to shift the group dynamic in Ender's favor. Ender participates in his first team battle exercises. Though just a launchie, he demonstrates his burgeoning leadership and strategic skills. Early on, Ender shows a propensity for unconventional tactics that catch the instructor's attention and mark him as an innovator. The commanding officers, including Graff and Anderson, discuss Ender's rapid progression, debating the ethics and potential consequences of their training methods. Ender faces more challenging war games, each designed to stretch his tactical boundaries and test the limits of his strategic thinking. Ender continuously faces and overcomes challenges, both physical and mental, as he adapts to the competitive environment of battle school. As Ender's confidence grows, he begins to challenge the authority of his superiors, questioning their methods and the true purpose behind the war games. Ender's exceptional abilities are noticed, and despite being young and a newcomer, he is promoted more rapidly than his peers, which creates a distance between him and other students. Ender is placed under the tutelage of an older student, Petra Arcanian, who recognizes his potential and teaches him how to shoot in the battle room. Tensions with Bonzo Madrid, the leader of an army, intensify as Ender's successes in the battle room amplify Bonzo's resentment and jealousy. Ender defies Bonzo's orders during a training exercise, leading to a spectacular victory that undermines Bonzo's authority and further isolates Ender. Ender is given command of his own group, the newly reformed Dragon Army, which is composed of other students who are mostly younger or considered less capable. Ender revolutionizes Dragon Army's training regimen, introducing innovative strategies and tactics that leverage the unique attributes of zero-gravity combat. Ender builds a rapport with his team, focusing on unity and mutual respect rather than the traditional military hierarchy. This fosters a strong sense of loyalty within Dragon Army. Ender demonstrates a leadership style that is a blend of compassion and decisiveness, earning the respect of both his peers and superiors. Under Ender's leadership, Dragon Army embarks on a streak of victories, winning simulated battles against other student armies, which were previously thought impossible due to their unorthodox battle formations and tactics. Ender and Dragon Army face trials that are unfair or intended to sabotage their success, like battles with impossible odds or facing rested teams while being fatigued themselves. Ender's relentless pursuit of excellence and his ability to adapt quickly to new challenges solidify his reputation as the fleet's most promising commander. Ender's innovative command approach garners attention from the school's administrators, further establishing his position as the key figure in battle school. Following the unauthorized battle, a physical confrontation occurs between Ender and Bonzo, leading to Bonzo's serious injury and hospitalization. Ender is shaken by the results of his confrontation with Bonzo, causing him to question the morality of his actions and the path that he is on. Ender becomes increasingly disillusioned with the battle school and considers leaving. His sister Valentine is brought to persuade him to continue, emphasizing the importance of his mission. Bolstered by Valentine's support, Ender recommits to his training, though he continues to be troubled by the escalating violence and the manipulation by his superiors. In recognition of his unparalleled achievements and the resolution of his personal conflicts, Ender graduates from battle school and is promoted to command school. Ender is transported to command school, a base located on a barren asteroid where the battles become more complex and the stakes are higher. Ender meets Mazer Rackham, the legendary hero who defeated the Formics in the previous war. Rackham becomes Ender's mentor, pushing him to refine his command abilities. Ender undergoes a rigorous training regimen, facing simulated battle scenarios that increasingly resemble real Formic battle techniques and tactics. Ender is joined by some of his closest friends and former squad members from battle school, such as Petra, Alai, and Bean, who will serve as his squadron commanders. Ender and his team engage in immersive combat simulations against the Formic forces, with each scenario increasing in difficulty and requiring advanced strategic planning. As the simulations intensify, the bonds between Ender and his squadron deepen, with a shared sense of camaraderie and trust developing among them. Ender evolves into a more assertive and cunning leader, often questioning the nature of the enemy and seeking deeper understanding of the Formics. The relentless pace of simulations takes a psychological and emotional toll on Ender and his team, as they are pushed to their limits. Ender grows increasingly skeptical of the adults manipulating the war games, particularly as he becomes more aware of the moral implications of his orders. Ender and his team are informed that they will participate in one final simulation that will determine if they are ready for real combat against the Formics. Ender and his team are brought into the command center for what is presented as their final simulation before graduation. The scenario involves an all-out attack on the Formic homeworld. The simulation presents a scenario of immense difficulty, with overwhelming odds against the human fleet. Ender is forced to employ all his strategic knowledge and leadership skills. As the battle begins, Ender grapples with doubts about his own morality and the ethical implications of the decisions he makes in the heat of combat. Pushed to the brink and believing the survival of humanity is at stake, Ender makes a controversial decision to sacrifice part of his fleet to open a path to the Formic planet. Ender orders the deployment of the molecular disruption device, a weapon capable of annihilating an entire planet, effectively destroying the Formic homeworld and, presumably, ending the Formic threat. Following the simulation, Ender, overwhelmed by fatigue and emotion, collapses, believing he has just passed the most challenging test of his training. While Ender and his team are initially celebrated for their victory, they are soon confronted with the devastating truth that the simulations were real, and they have just annihilated the Formic species. Realizing the magnitude of his actions, Ender becomes distraught and filled with remorse. The revelation that he has been manipulated into committing genocide weighs heavily on him. Ender confronts Colonel Graff and other military leaders, questioning the morality of their decisions and the cost of victory. The leaders defend their actions as necessary for humanity's survival. After learning that he has actually destroyed the Formic race, Ender withdraws from those around him, struggling with his role in the genocide and searching for a way to make amends. While exploring the ruins of the Formic planet, Ender discovers a living Formic queen who has been preserved and is communicating through a telepathic link. The Formic queen shares her perspective with Ender, revealing the past mistakes and regrets of her race, as well as their desire for peace before their destruction. Ender finds that the Formic queen has entrusted him with her species' last hope for survival, an egg capable of giving birth to a new Formic colony. Faced with the potential to rectify his actions and offer redemption to the Formics, Ender commits to protecting the egg and finding a new home for the species. Ender writes a book under the pseudonym The Speaker for the Dead, which tells the true story of the Formic War and advocates for understanding and empathy over violence and conquest. The film ends with Ender's departure into space, indicating a new chapter and journey in his life as he works toward peace and reconciliation.